We are looking at all of the ways that we can expand our states of awareness and what happens when we do that. I really adore Joseph Campbell, the famous mythologist, and he also agreed that what we generally call schizophrenia is usually seen as visionary or mystical in shamanic cultures. That is, it's something to be valued and not to be feared or to be subdued with drugs or medication or chemicals. And as he pointed out in the PBS series that he's so famous for, that he did with Bill Moyer, The Power of Myth, he said, quote, "The shaman is the person, male or female, who has an overwhelming psychological experience that turns him or her totally inward. It's a kind of schizophrenic crack up. The whole unconscious opens up and the shaman falls into it," unquote. And there's a man by the name of Terence McKenna. He actually died in 2000, but he was an American ethnobotanist who was really completely captivated by psychedelics and what many like to call plant medicine. Of course, medicine is used in the traditional sense, anything that can be helpful or healing for us. McKenna explained that the labels schizophrenic and shamanic are heavily determined by the culture that one finds oneself in. He says our backwards approach to mental illness in Western societies is the reason that mental illness is a major and growing problem in the West, in spite of our best efforts to medicalize and stigmatize what many people consider to be actually perfectly normal experiences, which stem from a philosophical, an existential, a spiritual, or a personal crisis. So again, I think what we're doing here is starting to normalize the fact that all of us are human, that we are on a journey, that we are not simply here to be born, to suffer, and to die, but there is a pattern, there's a blueprint, there's something bigger going on, that maybe we chose to come here. Maybe we chose to have these experiences in human form, in this world of form, in order for our core self, our bigger self, our source self, our soul self, the divine, whatever you would like to call it, to be able to have specific certain experiences that can only be had in this particular realm of reality. Think about it. We have all of our senses. I don't know if we have access to those same physical senses if we are consciousness in some kind of an infinite form. Looking at the challenges that we have as initiation, as, to be maybe a bit cliched, as the pressure that is creating the diamond that we are, or that are whittling away and revealing the core of who we are beneath all of those coping mechanisms, all of those things can actually be seen as something intentional that we can then surmount or come through. And you've heard me say many, many times by now, I'm sure, the only way out is through. We don't want to suppress these kinds of experiences when they're coming up. Instead, if we can just create that container and allow people to be safe and to come through that and out the other side, they will be transformed. And so coming back to Terence McKenna, he highlights how in the Western world, we actually lack this tradition of shamanism. We don't have this idea of being able to use these states as a portal to be able to enter into more of who we really are, to be able to understand it, come through it, and let ourselves be transformed because of that. And as McKenna argues, quote, "A shaman is someone who swims in the same ocean as a schizophrenic, but the shaman has thousands and thousands of years of sanctioned technique and tradition to draw upon," unquote. So in Western society, we tend to treat people on par with like prisoners by locking them up. And that eventually makes schizophrenia incurable. At least the idea is that they're never going to be cured. And psychiatrists in the West tend to believe that if an experience is unpleasant or if it's painful, then it needs to be stopped or at least numbed or, hey, maybe dissociated, which was already the problem to begin with. And so, however, from a shamanic perspective, these kinds of experiences actually are here for us to learn and grow. if we are willing to go further into them and confront them head on, to go to battle with the demons and gatekeepers in our underworld journey instead of running away and hiding from them, because we're never going to change or transform if that's what happens.